Right, so with the main camouflage applied, we're now down to doing small detail painting. One of the things that nearly every Spitfire had was a set of black wing walkways. Most models include this on the decal sheet. However, remarkably enough, the decals that came with this particular model didn't have them. I prefer to spray them anyway, certainly in 48 scale. It just gives a better effect and you've got more control, there's less chance of decal silvering and stuff, so I always choose to spray it. It's a bit of a more extensive masking job than you'd otherwise do, but I think the results make it worth the effort. So it's all straight lines. So the right, let's have a look. Okay, so what we're doing here at the moment is I'm just working out the best way to achieve the result I'm looking for. Okay, they're very, very thin lines. They're certainly less than a millimetre in even in 48 scale. Take your time. You're going to have to do some, quite often there's quite a lot of adjustment to do. Don't be afraid to keep going backwards and forwards and checking and adjusting your masking. it will be worth it in the end. Okay. Okay, so that's one wing done. So I'm just going to go and repeat exactly the same process with the other wing. Okay, so there's the this is the wing walkways have been masked now, so it's just a case of loading the airbrush up and giving them a quick spray with black or a dark grey. I'm going to mix just a bit of gloss black for that. Now I haven't extensively masked this, so I'm going to have to be a bit careful just to make sure I avoid any overspray. Again, as you can see, we're basically looking at 5 or 10 minutes worth of masking and literally a few seconds worth of spraying, but I think the results more than justify this. Okay, that's it. It's almost always going to look better doing it this way than it would if you were using the decals for it. Occasionally, if they're particularly good decals, maybe cartograph decals or something like that these days, with plenty of setting and softening solutions, you can get a great result. But I've just, over the last few years of building Spitfires and Seafires, I've just developed this method as being reasonably quick and giving consistently good results. Okay, let's have a look. Okay, I hope you can see that on there. Those lines are now done. They do look a little bit stark against the camouflage at the moment, but in due course, with weathering and fading and stuff, they will blend back just fine. Okay, As you can see here, I've masked off the dope patches on the leading edges of the wings. You might think there's some extensive masking here. You'd be right. Red has a tendency to overspray very, very easily, so I want to really protect my model. I'm using Tamiya acrylic for this. I've got a pot of red that I've mixed to a slightly darker colour by adding some whole red to it, straight onto the model. So I've got good flow. Okay, and here's the patches done as well now. Right, with the model, basically the main colours are on the model now, and so most of the detail work is done. So before I go any further, what I want to do is get a good protective coat on it, and as I've used lacquers almost exclusively so far, I'll be using a lacquer gloss coat. The gloss coat I'm choosing to use this time is this product here. It's called Finisher's Auto Clear. This is a Japanese company that do paints for car models essentially. I got this bottle after seeing it on a Japanese video a few years ago. I managed to get some of this from Rainbow 10 along with a specialised thinner that goes with it. Gives absolutely the best gloss I've ever experienced on any model finish. Now, I've been jealously guarding this for the last 2.5–3 years because since the Japanese introduced new export rules saying that no liquids or solvents can be exported from Japan, I can't get hold of any more. So this is the first and the last pot or jar of this I will ever have. I haven't managed to find anywhere. I found some other places online that will sell finishers, but none of them have this auto clear that I want. Anyway, I'm using my TR1 airbrush here for the larger flow coverage. I've got a bit in there. I'm just going to see how it's coming through the airbrush. Yeah, it's coming through fine. So I'm not going to thin. This has already been heavily thinned many times in the jar here. And so with the airbrush, which gives a wide setting, I'm just going to gloss the whole model over quickly. Now, I'm not aiming for a super high gloss here. I don't need a super high gloss. I just need a good protective coat over my paint finish before I start the further weathering stages. The other thing I'm not going to do is teach you about safety when using lacquers. Basically, if you can't work out the safety precautions that generally you should be taking when using lacquers, you shouldn't be out in public, really. Now, I know I said I wasn't aiming for a super high gloss. The joy of using these paints is it's difficult to get anything else. A couple of light coats and you've got a super high gloss. There we go. So that's my Seafire now glossed as well. The thing is, that will be dry, and I'll be able to start the further weathering processes that I need to do on this model in an hour or two. That'll be rock hard.